Good morning. It is good to be together again and beginning the new year. We begin with a tradition of water, that forgiving liquid that is so flexible and fluid and that washes us clean and gives us that incredible feeling of joy on a hot summer day. We are also here to affirm our connections with one another and to look into the future, for water is something that people search for with those marvelous divination rods. And water is something that people look down into to try to see the future. Water teaches us to be flexible as it nourishes our bodies and our spirits. And without water, we cannot live. And with water, we can flourish. Even a place in the desert where almost nothing seems to be alive. When there is water, you will find trees. And depending on where that desert is, you might even find a sleeping camel. Today, I open this marvelous worship service with words of wisdom from the Buddhist Thich Nhat Hanh. He had such a deep practice of peace that he was able to feel peace even in times of war, and the peace that he felt moved out from him in ever-widening circles. This is what he wrote. Water flows from high in the mountains. Water runs deep in the earth. Miraculously, water comes to us and sustains all life. In this sustaining life of water, at one time in our country that was a sad time when people were enslaved by other humans, slaves traveled upward on the Underground Railway, and they had a song that we will sing together today. In that song, they knew that if they could find water, they would be safe. Let's find water. Let's wade in the water.
I'd like to invite Anna Renshaw to come up and light the chalice. Please join me as we say our chalice lighting words. We light this chalice for the warmth of love, for the light of truth, and for the energy of action. So, since we're all staying up here, and there are going to be some parts of the service where we're all going to get a chance to come up front, I thought I'd let the little guys stay in their seats for a moment right now while I talk very quickly about our service today. In Unitarian Universalist congregations all over the place today, churches are having their in-gathering service that includes a water communion. How many of you have been to a water communion before? Okay, how many of you have not been to a water communion before? Awesome. Okay, so we're going to explain it. So the tradition is that people, as they go their ways during the summer, because a lot of people have travels during the summer, or they're not going to school, or they're not in the routine of going to church, or they just hike every Sunday because that's their church in the summer. When they come back and rejoin the community, they bring with them a little bit of water from their travels. And it doesn't have to be real water, and it doesn't even have to be from your travels. But the whole metaphor is that we are all connected, even when we're apart. But when we pool all of our energy together, that's what makes us a community. So people all over are sharing their water today, and we are going to have a chance to share our water. And today we are thinking of our water as a metaphor for the ways that we renew ourselves when we are away from each other so that we have the energy to share with each other here and to let that energy spill out into the wider community. And it's funny because I wanted to do something a little bit colorful today. So I decided to bring my Marble Works collection because it's been probably 10 years since my kids played with it. So I had to dig it out. There will be different ways that people rejuvenate and that their water will come down and join our community. And it will overflow the bowl that is our community and spill out into the wider world. Now, I thought that this was a pretty clever idea. I was pretty excited for myself. And then I went on my monthly conference video call with all the DREs in the Mountain Desert District. And it turns out that more than one church in our district today is doing the Ice Bucket Challenge on their ministers for water supply. I was seriously bummed that I did not think of that. Seriously bummed. And there's a congregation in Colorado that rented a water slide today. And they have 5 services at this church. And their minister is going to go down the water slide 5 times. So I just want you to know that we're being really nice to Patty today. And that we know how to have fun in our own way. And I hope that you enjoy our colorful pathways for your renewal water to flow into our community.
My gratitude is overflowing. Now that I realize I could be poised for a water slide. This morning, as we think about all that is happening in the world as we do during this time and all that is happening in our community, I would like to invite all of you to come to enter that kind of place in your imaginations. And today we're going to stand, because I know we have many among us who don't like to sit for very long. So I believe it is time to stand. I'd like everyone to stand and really have your feet firmly planted, and think as we do at this time of how the earth is under our feet. I invite you to think of a place where you feel calm. And if that place has water, then that would be a wonderful place to imagine this morning. That you are standing before a place that has waves of water or light sparkling on the surface as it does on Bear Lake, or water just moving slowly in front of you as it does in those little streams that I find all over Salt Lake. And now I invite you to gather that peace and put your hands together and send that peace upward. We're first going to send that peace upward, and then I invite you to feel the water. Maybe some of you, it will be an ice bucket, it won't be mine. Feel that water moving over you, cleansing, rejuvenating, and then hold that rejuvenation. And then I invite you to give that feeling of renewal out to the community. And we'll do that 2 more times in silence. So we're gathering water. may we hold this spirit of renewal in our community as we begin this year and take this water with us as we nourish each other. This morning I'm going to tell you a secret. I am not a news junkie. I love the stories of people who read 4 newspapers. I think President Kennedy read 4 every morning. I think that if I read 4 newspapers, I would be lying on my carpet the entire day, unable to move. And when I look at the news, because I do keep track of things on the internet, there are those nasty bars on the side that can lead you into all of these strange and horrible things that are happening in the earth. How many of you have pressed one of those bars? But many times as your minister, I am called to dive into really difficult worlds. And yesterday, as I was preparing for the water ceremony, I was also preparing to write an article that the a national organization against torture has asked me to write. And in order to write that article, I have to keep reading the Senate's report that will soon come out on the torture that has been happening in Guantanamo Bay and other places since September 11th. Each of us touches those worlds. Whether it is because we are walking downtown and we do like we did last night, we saw a family, 2 young people with tiny children, and they appeared to be homeless. Our lives touch things that are hard for us to feel in our hearts. So yesterday, when I was feeling very heavy with this article and feeling it was really important that I write it, it was also important that I renew myself. So I took a long walk. Lou and our friend who's visiting us, we spent an hour and we walked around a park. And right in the middle of that walk, we stood by this stream. And we just stood there for 5 minutes, just listening to that water. Every day, that is the practice. It's for me, some people call it meditation, but for me, I would call it listening. That whenever I can, I take time to listen. Because if I don't have those times of listening, I could not do what I do. I could not serve you. You would see me in my office and I'd be looking really depressed. And you'd be thinking, why on earth did I come to her? But all of us have those practices. Your presence today in this sanctuary bears witness to a practice that you have of renewal that keeps you feeling hope. So today I want us, with the water that we bring, to think about that practice that we bring to this community that sustains all of us. The water that I will share with you, that I will begin by putting in here, it's kind of sad that I'm using this water because it is marvelous water, but I wanted to tell you that there is a fountain in this very building that I make use of every day. And I go and I fill my teapot, and that, I want you to know, is a great gift to our community from the Cups group, from Cups group. And I give them thanks for that. So I begin with that water, and I invite all of you to begin thinking of what water it is that you bring. Some of you have water from places you have been far away, but also be thinking about that water that you bring, that you have in your life that sustains you. For me, it would be sitting and listening by that brook. It would be watching pelicans in this place, but you have to go there only if the wind is blowing from the north. By the dump, because there are many beautiful pelicans there. And it is just simply sitting for me when I come in the morning. Often I go and sit in the meditation chapel and listen to the silence there. No accidents and no ice buckets. It's a good day. And now I invite all of you who have brought water or have virtual water, you can use some of my water if you like, and tell us what you are bringing to this community. May this water that is overflowing be the water that sustains us through this year. And I give thanks to all of you for the energy and love that you bring to this community that overflows into the greater community and into each other's lives. I give thanks. During those times in your life when the world seems an overwhelming place and you feel as if your one small drop or even your pitcher full is not enough to make a difference, I invite you to feel the difference that you are making here and that you are making in the lives around you. These are the words of a woman named Sister Ishpriya, who sees hope in water. And since I did not want to simply rework her words as my own, I give them to you. One tiny bit of water rests on the palm of my hand. I bring it to you, and with it, I bring the whole ocean. This tiny drop has the power to ease the burning thirst of men when spread on the earth, to give life to the seed and the future harvest. When poured on the fire to quench the blaze, a tiny drop of water can cleanse the whole. A tiny drop of water makes a difference. You are all making a difference. May it be so. Amen.